All right, let's talk about playing posture. When you go to a drum circle or a drum jam or any jam session, or even when you're playing music by yourself at home, you want to have a nice drum. You want to have a playable drum, something that you like. You can have a great drum and you can take that to a circle, but if you're not able to get good body mechanics on it, you're not going to get the most out of your drum. Now you've invested in this drum, or maybe you haven't, you're just borrowing a drum and you're going to play, but you still want to play well. So we need to think about the way we play. Now you can see what I'm sitting in here. This is your standard plastic patio chair, regular chair height. That's fine for a lot of things. You can use a folding chair. Don't necessarily recommend camp chairs unless it's got a rigid something across the front, so you can sit up on the front, because you don't want to be lounged back. You want to be up on the front of your seat with your back straight, so you can actually play your drum. Now, a chair this height is great if you have a djembe, because you can set the djembe on the ground, wrap your legs around it. Now, when you play a drum, you don't want to be like this or like this. You want your arm nice and straight, and it's not so much of a wrist movement in most types of drummings. Obviously, heel toe is going to be in your wrists, but for playing a standard drum, a drum like a djembe, you want the motion to come here. You're playing, see that pivot there? And your hand kind of becomes a big drumstick, and your fingers become the tip of the drumstick. So you want to make sure that you are sitting at a height where you can move, where your elbows are up above, not too low. Now, like I said, on a djembe, this is a fine height. But what if I have a conga? If I have a conga, now you can see my elbow height is below the rim of the drum. So when I come straight at it, I don't make contact with the drum head. I'd have to get up here to play. Not super comfortable, not good body mechanics, say sore muscles, pull a muscle, even worse. Now, I have a little flat pack drum stool that I made out of plywood, which is great for exactly this. I made it to a height that's comfortable for me to sit. Now my elbow's up above. Have a better playing position. This drum's obviously not tuned up right now. So that's wonderful. Now, what if you have a djembe and you want to be able to play both? The djembe is a little low. If you're playing a djembe, what if you have a smaller drum? This is also a djembe, but what if it was any drum that's small? If I set this on, this is obviously not a very good playing height for body mechanics. So, you're gonna get yourself a strap. This here is a guitar strap. I just put a couple carabiners on. This is a strap I swiped off of a duffel bag. You can also just go to the hardware store or anywhere really and get a belt that is reasonably strong. The clasp, put a carabiner on that and clip that. And just take that, wrap it around yourself, clip it onto your drum. Now this, you can use your legs, pinch it in, but this holds the drum nice and in close with you. So now I have a good playing height, even on this tall stool. It's good for this conga. And still play the tiny little djembe because the strap is holding it up. Now, what if I'm not planning on playing the tiny little djembe on my conga stool? The strap is still a good idea on your conga. I'm a big guy, I have big, strong legs. I can wrap around this sucker, no problem. Maybe your conga isn't this big. Maybe you can wrap it around it, no problem too. If so, that's great. Nothing wrong throwing a strap on it. And now, you don't have to keep your legs wrapped. You still have free movement. Now this is also great for if you were playing djembe, whether you're playing a little too high, this can hoist it up for you. Nice and secure. Gets it up off the ground so we get that nice bass tone. This is also good in any height seat. If you're sitting in a regular height chair and the djembe is sitting on the ground, obviously when your drum is flat, you get no bass tone. When you tip it a bit, you get some bass tone, but if you can actually get it up off the ground, you get all that tone ringing through. So maybe you want to tip it a little more. Use a strap. I highly recommend investing in a strap as part of your drum jam kit. Also, like I said, I made this little stool because I'm cheap and I didn't want to go out and buy a drum throne. Best thing you can do is get yourself a drum throne. You can get them for 40 bucks. You can get a really nice one for a couple $100. Get as nice a one as your budget allows. Nicer ones really are more comfortable to sit on. The bicycle style seats are great. What if you don't have budget for a drum throne? What if you don't happen to have a quarter sheet of plywood and a jigsaw in your garage? Get yourself a couple milk crates and a bungee cord and strap them together. This isn't actually a bungee cord, this is a rope, but for illustrative purposes, you don't need to strap them together, but if you're clumsy like I am, strapping them together is not a bad idea. This is a great height. You can play conga at this height. You can use your strap to elevate any drum to this height. And for me, this is a really nice, comfortable posture for my back. You want to think about your back and your posture when you're playing, because it's really easy to hunch over and get sore and pull things out where they're not supposed to be. Let's keep good, apparently with my camera angle, good posture means you can't actually see my face at all. Anyway, I think you get the idea. Strongly, highly, really recommend. Think about not just your drum, think about your seating, think about getting a strap so you can use those to think about good body mechanics when you play. Not only will you feel better at the end of your session, you're gonna sound better because you have better hand position, better body mechanics. You'll get the most out of your drum that way. Until next time.